Okay. Hope everyone can hear me. Let's have a look. See if we're on all platforms. Okay. See if this works. Hello. Oh, tell you what. Stressed out to the limits after that. It's fine. I've had a lot of trouble with Facebook, so I've had to do it on this one. I very much doubt I'm going to get a very high watch today. Yeah, technical issues of Facebook being dickheads, basically. So yeah, as I say, I very much doubt I'm going to get any a big turnout today because it won't be on Facebook. A lot of people are too lazy to even go on to another channel. So I'll give it a go. Can't post anything on Facebook live video until the 5th of July. Or the 7th of July. So yeah. I was meant to be giving a little shout out today for one of my mates. His comic book, but there's no point doing it when there's only two people in here. So it is what it is. What I end up probably doing is doing this for a bit and seeing if it is actually on. You know, people actually will be able to watch this and then do a shout out. If not, won't be much point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not holding out much hope, to be honest with you. And it's not me being a pessimist. It's just, you know, Facebook have really, you know, can't say certain words, but they've definitely urinated onto my bonfire. That's for sure. Which has really got me kind of angry, to be honest with you, because I know why I'm blocked from putting live videos out there at the moment, and it's pathetic, really. Said something in jest as a joke on somebody's comment, and they have now blocked my account. So it's really silly, to be honest with you. Really, really, really stupid. I mean, this would be going a lot better if, you know, I could actually use my normal account, because I'd be having a better camera angle for one. Stolen from my friend Rachel's idea of a skateboard with some weights at the end of it, just to hover over. At the moment, I'm using my my camera, which isn't great definition, and it's on a stand on a tripod, so it's very difficult to get a decent angle on it. So yeah, I'll paint for a bit, see if it livens up a bit. But very, 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 very annoyed by Facebook at the moment. it's little. It's very weird for me to be, controlling my anger, as it were, because there's a lot of things I want to say right now, but I don't really want to give this this channel or this live stream a bit of a angry context to it, because I am fuming about it. Absolutely fuming. Because I know who it is who's reported me. And yeah, needless to say, fun times ahead for me. Hey, it's Kurt. Yeah. Oh, this is the Fury boy. But yeah, it was a choice of not going live at all today, and not doing this video. I've been looking forward to doing for a while, but I am painting Baratheon Wardens for Cool Mini or Not's Song of Ice and Fire game. Whoever follows the page have seen I've been painting some hero characters today. And now I'm just working on the normal guy. It's your boy. Which boy would that be? Because I don't recognise the name. Another problem with what one, mate? Do you wear a hat? It's like playing a Guess Who, isn't it? Do you wear a hat? Do you wear a? You mean Tesco, Matt? Yeah, I don't like the. I mean, yes, thank you for trying to make me understand who it was, but I don't like the whole, fat Matt thing. This Tesco Matt or Matt the Hat. I don't like that fat Matt thing. It's not very nice. Don't like people speaking bad of my friends, so I don't speak bad about my friends either. Well, someone's got to be nice, isn't they? In a world of shits. Might be an idea if I actually paint underneath the camera tonight, as opposed to my own little corner. It's fine. I worked out that the only person who'll be following my post is that's an idea actually, Matt. If you're still there, Mr. Matthew, you like comic books and cool stuff like that, Dragon Ball Z kind of drawings, as it were. I wouldn't say they're Dragon Ball Z kind of drawings, but they're the same art style. You should check out tonight, 10 o'clock, a live comic book drawing by Blur the Cat. I'll send you in the thing. Check that out tonight, 10 o'clock. Rachel is a phenomenally good artist. And Blur the Cat is something Goliath Cat, no. Blur the Cat. Who Rachel is Rachel is a phenomenal artist. And when you get to see things come together like that, when you get to see somebody not painting, what the fuck am I on? Too many Stellas for my lunch up, as it was. When you see somebody drawing a picture in front of you and just seeing how it all unfolds and stuff, bit of a commentary in the background, answering questions, it's really, really good. I think apart from last night, where I think I was having technical difficulties, it was a really good one the other night. Yeah, I thought so. It was really good. All the questions being asked are really good, and it was nice to see you know, somebody do something different during lockdown, because I'm seeing a lot of posts of people getting drunk or they're moaning about being on lockdown. But, you know, Rachel's got quite a positive spin on it that she's finishing off a comic book. No, it's fine, Rachel, to be honest with you. It's always nice to watch your videos. And it's also, you know, if I can point my friends who enjoy comic books in the right direction, they'll they'll be appreciative of it, because they'll be able to watch, you know, you do your little movie, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you see what I mean? This camera is not the best. Not the best at all. Let's have a little bit of a lineup. Yeah, there's no way of improving the camera either, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can link you later. I'll be going, Rachel will be going live about 10 o'clock to do her, the cat. Blur the Cat and the Frost Kittens, I believe. And I'll be putting it onto my Facebook wall to, you know, do that. So you'll be able to have a look at that. But yeah, I've quickly, while I was painting, looked at the terms and conditions and stuff. Facebook have thrown me off of live videos because I made a joke on VE Day, and people reported me for it multiple times. I add, different people, you know, reported me for the same thing. That was meant as a joke because somebody put up a picture of Hitler, and I, me being me, an anti-racist and anti-fascist, was saying, you know, how can you guys get away with posting pictures up like this? And I got reported for it and thrown off of Facebook for a while, which is, you know, bollocks, to be honest with you. Yeah, good in a way, to be honest with you, Rachel, because I thought it was my my laptop that was messing up yesterday. Because 1 minute you were there and then it went. I was like, oh no. Trying to move the camera around as much as I can, seeing what you know, seems to be a better angle. But of course I have to keep moving the painting around to get into all the little nooks and crannies. See, if I had my phone, obviously, it'd be able to dartwards, downwards, and it would be just like your setup for Blur the Cat, where I could just, you know, I could paint over the top of my head like a bird's eye view kind of thing. But yeah, we have 3 people viewing this so far, which is good, I guess. Would be a lot more if we were. I'm not going to get bitter about it. Not so much bitter, just more like, you know, are you absolutely kidding me? That people put these people with their purposes, as it were. Oh well, serves me right for trying to have a sense of humour. Yeah, yeah. Because as you already know, a lot of some metal bands, some no, but some Viking metal bands are quite far right, and you know, it's silly at the end of the day. I mean, I don't know, people. I mean, the fact that the post I put up. Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. I mean, Tommy Robinson's still on Facebook, for Christ's sake. You know, one of the most hateful hate speakers of our century is still on there. None of his videos get taken down or anything like that, or any of his comments get deleted. But God forbid that I point out, you know, that people have got pictures of Hitler, you know, on VE Day of all days, and draw the correlation between them saying, you know, rock, paper, scissors and all that. That was the picture post. And, you know, God forbid that I, you know, I don't know. Facebook's been really weird recently. A lot of videos that shouldn't even be on there due to, you know, for lack of a better word, racism. Really, I mean, a couple of days ago, I saw a couple of Asian boys on Facebook video. It was like I can't remember who shared it, but it was basically a bunch of Asian boys getting beaten up because they're Asian. You know, and that was on there for a while. But, you know, God forbid I say something about, you know, why you guys got a picture of Hitler on VE Day. So I get thrown off it. But, you know, as I say, this video is not going to be me being bitter. This is going to be a video of me painting my last 12 Baratheon guys, getting them based up, getting them finished, so I can, you know, move on to other things for next week. So what is the odd three people in this group saying? What are we doing? This has been probably up to now. And to be fair, I'm not going to lie to you, it being Corona time, depends. It would have been a lot clearer on the other camera. I got all 12 of them base coated in a silver spray colour. Let's have a look. Let's do that. Wait for it to focus. Nope. Okay. Let's get a pen in my mouth and put a bit of white behind it. No, ain't focusing. Oh well. I missed my phone already. Got them all base coated in a silver spray and then shaded with a black liquid paint, as it were, to get into all the recesses. So it, you know, the chainmail had like a black undertone to it, and the rings were silver. And then when I started this thing, I did all the little golden emblems of the stag on their body pieces. So, like, what I mean is, to answer your question, Rachel, let's kind of go around the houses a bit. Was, you know, it speeds it up a bit. Just the hard bit, the long drying time, and all of that. Shaved off a good half hour of time of like waiting for shades to dry and stuff. But each model probably takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because I'm just doing big, bold, yellowy colours at the moment, because Baratheons are, in their colour scheme, are black and yellow. So I'm just painting all the yellow onto all the surcoats and the shields. Then I'm going to come back later with a watered down yellow shade colour to pick off the detail on that. And then going to paint the stags black, obviously, because it's black and yellow is the colour scheme for Baratheons. Is there any way I can get that bit better angled? I don't know. It feels like, it looks like to me I'm painting off at a distance. Might as well be painting in the next room kind of thing, compared to, you know, the better camera angle I could have done. Yeah, don't worry. This video is only going to be going on till about 10 minutes to 10, because that is when, well, it might finish sooner than that at this rate. But that's so I can watch Blur the Cat being drawn live. And then that gives me 10 minutes, get everything squared away, get myself a cup of coffee and a cake of some description, and watch you draw. Yeah, I've got a tripod now, because normally I do battle reports of, like, you know, Warhammer games being played with the other member of Tabletop Standard, whose name is Ian. He's the grumpy dwarf player. People who are on here that know Ian, you know exactly what I mean. If Matt Lawrence is still here, he knows the grumpy dwarf. Peppermint tea. Do you know what? I'm only a fan of English tea, like breakfast tea. I don't like flavored teas. I find them they're just not my thing. If you like them, that's fair enough. But for me, I like strong flavors. That's probably because I smoke very strong tobacco. I smoke roll ups. Yeah, we normally do not live videos. We record videos and put them on our channel of us doing battle reports to help people learn aspects of the game and just watch us play games. Really, yeah. I mean, there's some weird flavors out there, isn't there? There's can't think cranberry flavored tea, and it's like, yeesh. But yeah, someone who smokes roll ups, I need my coffee near enough black with a drop of milk. My cups of tea looking like a muddy puddle kind of thing with a drop of milk. Otherwise, I can't taste anything. Which is a shame because I like my tea and I like my coffee. My coffee. Still got the same 3 people viewing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, while you're in the group kind of thing, Rachel, you might as well put up what is your worst flavour of tea you've ever had. Mine was probably green tea. Green tea was just something else for me. It was very different. So yeah. Never had chamomile. Never had it. Never will. But yeah, where's my tissue gone? But yeah. Oh, these bloody camera angles. I mean, my brother's lent me a swan neck, which if I can just get it down into camera view, it's like a long swan-like neck thing you attach onto your table and you put your camera on it, or your phone on it in this case. But, with it being, I'm not able to use it on my phone because of the ban, as it were. I've had to do it this way. Yeah, we've got a lot of interesting things coming soon in Tabletop Standard. I'll probably do a separate video about this so people actually see it. Doing a 24-hour painting challenge. That's me painting for 24 hours to raise money for a charity close to my heart. We've also, me and Ian have decided, because when people discuss our hobby with us, it does sound 95% of the time, it does sound like me and Ian are constantly moaning about our hobby. Like, oh, a new army's coming out. Oh, yeah, well, it's not as good as the old one. Oh, it's not as good as this one. Oh. So we have decided to start a monthly Monday show where we talk about what's coming out for the weeks or the month, that month, or next month coming out from all of our favourite companies, such as Weird Miniatures, who make Malifaux, Games Workshop, Warlord, even Call Me or Not, who are releasing the Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones stuff. And we're going to call it the Monthly Monday Moanings, where basically we just review, as it were, what's coming out for the following months. People who don't play Games Workshop will enjoy it because we won't be talking about exclusively Games Workshop. We'll be talking about Malifaux. We'll be talking about Warlord. We'll be talking about all kinds of different things. So that would be good. So, but hopefully, when all the lockdown stuff's over, me and Ian will be able to do these kind of things. Downside to it, this bloody Facebook ban. Got to remember to put my hand there. There. so people can actually see what I'm painting and what I'm not painting. Yes. Yeah, I have been looking about getting a GoPro thing so I can just have it on top of my head. So I don't have to keep worrying about really bad camera angles such as this. I mean, you think I paid a lot of money for this camera. It's meant to be 4K, like a 4K definition camera. But it ain't. Look at that. I mean, that is not a 4K detailed camera. I mean, how close do I need to get it 4K? You know what I mean? Which is weird because the videos come out pretty well. They're not grainy or anything. So who knows? Yeah, I think tabletop. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody out there's watching, can't really see the comments that much at the moment because I'm got my head down. But if there's anybody on there that knows much about the tabletop standard, other rival companies, for lack of a better word for it, I think we're the only group that doesn't offer Patreon. I think we're the only ones who don't ask for money. I mean, I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want them to count a bloody suit. But there's a company. There's actually a wargaming channel similar to it, not like ours, but similar to ours because they do basically the painting things and they do thingamabobs, battle reports. But they actually have a GoFundMe thing that gets linked straight into a coffee shop, so you don't have to pay money. You can just buy them a cup of coffee each. I think me and Ian are the only people on here that don't actually ask for money. We just do it because we like to do it. We both got daytime jobs, but we do it not to make money, but to boost our community, because the wargame community is a very small community, especially in our area. You get a lot of people who are into the game for the first month or whatever, but then they get out of it shortly afterwards, and it's sad. Let me grab my little drink. Oh, I'm not going to lie to you. If we were live on Facebook, there'd be questions galore. But of course not. Let's have a look what's on here. Yeah, it's a shame, but so what page are we working on for? Well, what page? Let me rephrase that. What page are you working on today for Blur the Cat? Is it page 4? Because I think I came in on the second video, like watched it during the second video, and I missed your last night's, which would have been number 3. So I think we're on you're on number 4 tonight. Is that right? Page 5. Jeez. How many did you get done yesterday then? Because I must have missed a lot yesterday. Oh. Yeah, last time I saw Blur the Cat was walking down the high street into a post box that you remember, a pair of eyes in a phone box. That's why you drew the eyes on there. That's what I remember anyway. Oh, you your page 4 of the evening. Do you know what, Rachel? It might have been easier if we just bloody called each other, because we're the only ones having bloody conversation in here right now. What I'll do is I don't think this is going to take off today because it's not on Facebook video. where people can, basically if they scroll past their timelines, they'd see it. But with this, it involves people actually clicking on it. What I'll end up doing then before you go live later, or when you actually, let me rephrase that, when you do go live later, I'll put a link up on my Facebook page and, link people in it, give them a little blurb about it. A blurb, you're not, Rachel, you're the only one commenting. Do you know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. Trust me, the only one bloody talking, because I'm not getting the views today because we're on YouTube, not Facebook. What I'll have to do tomorrow maybe is see if I can link a video like Mel Bose does, and see if I can push it into both formats so I can get comments on both and read the comments. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, thank you for sharing the post, Rachel. I appreciate that a lot, more than you know. I appreciate that a lot because we've been talking about this privately, kind of thing, with a load of people who are interested in tabletop standard and actually putting some money down to support me and Ian doing this on our days off, kind of thing, going to gaming conventions and stuff and interviewing people. We've had some interest from someone. But with Facebook doing that today, they've really cut my cut what I can do and what I can't do. I'm not gonna moan the entire video, I promise you, but they've really cut my nuts off because the video camera I have to use is really bad. The it's just doing it on YouTube's also stopped. I don't know what you'd call it. I guess flyby watchers, people would see this come up on their Facebook posts when they were scrolling and they just, click on it to see what was happening. How actually I found the Blur the Cat videos actually was I was scrolling and it came up. That was it. Quaffy. The yeah, I don't know what it is. I saw it once, but I can't remember what it was called. But it could be very well be coffee. But yeah, it was a little thing that they pay for coffees for you. No, you don't get casual traffic on here now. That's what I mean, girl. You don't get people just scrolling past or anything. And because of this, this channel is also linked to the Facebook page. The YouTube is also linked to the Facebook page. And I normally do videos. I did a video on here earlier about when my paintbrushes arrived earlier. And it asked me before I did this video, the age limit for this video. I've never had to do an age limit before because some jokes might be offensive, they might not be, whatever. But yeah, it's the first time I've ever had to do it. Was put the age group. That's why I've had to put it to at least 16, 17 because at the end of the day, if people get offended by my humour, then oh dear, not a lot I can really do about that, really, is there? Yeah. Serves me right for sticking up for myself, really, I guess. Well, sticking up to my views, I should say. But anyway, not discussing the views or the exact post of the comment, not because I'm worried about YouTube banning me, but it's because I want to keep Tabletop Standard a non-political thing, because I don't want people who share my views to get taken away. But oh yeah, and people that don't like my views to post their rubbish on here. I want to remain neutral, as it were. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go on to the old Facebook while I wait for this thing to dry in my hands and see if I can. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, it's better for me to be, a non-political thing, for lack of a better word. It's a shame I can't share onto multi-platforms because then I'd be able to thingamabob. If I could share on multi-platforms, as it were, on YouTube, it means I could play this live, like carry on with it live through doing this and do it live. So I would be able to receive comments on the Facebook as well. But of course, they're cutting me off like a cancerous limb at the moment, which is fine. I mean, it could be worse, I guess. Look on the bright side, they could have deleted the account along with every video report, every painting thing, every competition thing we did, every question poll we did. So, look on the bright side. At least I didn't get rid of everything that me and Ian have worked hard on through this. So it could be a lot worse. Could be a hell of a lot better, but it could be worse. So just have to suck it up, as it were, and carry on painting. Because where I don't need people to, keep me occupied, as it were, when I paint. But it is nice to talk to people and get people's views and stuff onto the, But then again, it would be a lot easier with a better camera angle. What I might do actually is I might record a video in a couple of days' time of me just sitting here painting, as it were, put some music behind it just to see if a better camera angle works. But then I'll probably get done for stealing other people's music then, wouldn't I don't know. Seems to be a little vendetta against me on Facebook at the moment. Oh well. No, we got 3 views at the moment, 3 people watching this. So yeah, I might drag out the 2,500 points of lizard men, sit down, paint them on a time lapse kind of thing. Bit of inspirational music in the background. Middle of the road kind of stuff, relaxing music, and put that up on there. Maybe list the paints that I was using and do it as a little, paint video, as it were. This paint is so thick at the moment. I've had it for years, this yellow, and I've only started using it recently. And I don't know if the sun's got to it, or there's not a lot of moisture left in the pot, but it's such a dry paint at the moment. It's like painting with treacle at the moment, but it's the only one I've got, and it's not like I can go out and buy another one anywhere at the moment. And people on Amazon are jammy at the moment, man, like jammy as hell. They are selling a paintbrush. It would normally cost you £1. They're selling it for like £6-7 on Amazon because people on lockdown, they can't get it. Yeah. It is very thick yellow. Very, very thick yellow. It's like painting with I mean, that's don't know if you see it. That's the pot. I mean, that is seen better days. But the paint's coming out a nice average. I'm putting the paint on, and then I'm rubbing it over with pure clean water just to spread it out a bit, spread out the pigment, so it's all not just, you know, in clumps. It's a nice flat surface to work from. A little trick I learned from one of my friends a long time ago. Yeah, this is the boring stage. This is the painting, just painting the surcoats and the shields. The exciting bit and the fine detail bit comes later with the black on the shields. Hang on, let me see if I can grab that model. I mean, this is what we're going for. Don't know if you can really see it very well. Nah, you can't really see it very well. If anybody, you know, wants to know what these guys actually look like and a better definition of camera, I'd suggest you go onto the pictures on the Tabletop Standard Facebook page, and it's got the whole army ranked up. But yeah, that is what these are going to look like later. Is anyone can? Nah, worth a try. But yeah. It is, yeah. It is 3D grass. Yeah, it's something called flock that they actually use in, you know, cars that have got like a flat, smooth interior. You know, it's not leather, it's not plastic, but it's kind of like a car door, kind of like smooth feeling. That's what flock is. It's just painted green. This one. There's yellow ones for sand. There's white ones for snow. So yeah, just a bit of PVA on the base, the old school favourite of PVA glue. Put it on, you know, put it on the base, sprinkle it over, give the model a tap on the side to get off the loose bits of flock, and you know, you could do different designs. I've seen some people literally cover the entire base in flock, whereas other people do patches of it. Some people, like me, put a little bit of brown underneath and just don't flock over all of it. So it looks like, you know, grass that's now just, you know, giving up the fight. One of my friends actually did a Skaven army a long time ago now, and they sprayed it from the top like a quick burst of of black spray paint, and it made it look like scorched earth, like the grass had been burnt away by a flamethrower or something like that, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, it's something different, you know. I mean, I've got an army that I've based. It's for Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar, which is the new Warhammer Fantasy game. It's called Age of Sigmar now. I've painted them to look like they're in the mountains. So they've got like a rocky base, rocky stone base with snow in patches to make it look like they are on a mountainside. Because they are apparently their lore, their history, they're from the Mountain of Moor, which is the Warhammer world, obviously. They're from the mountains, so painting them up to make them look like they're in the mountains. If anybody is watching this and they are painting, or even if they're watching this on the YouTube, because I won't be deleting this, you know, it'll be on the Facebook page for a while, I'm guessing. People probably click on it to see what's happening. If people are painting while watching this and, you know, you have any questions about painting or any ideas, I'm not the world's best painter. There are people out there who win Golden Demon Awards who are incredibly good painters that look like their swords look like real life swords and stuff. They pick out the detail of the eyes and all. I pick out the detail of the eyes, but not as good as them. I rely far too much on shades to do eyes. But if there's anybody watching this in the future, kind of thing, as in not live now, and you're painting, you got any questions, always, you know, drop me a comment, drop me a a message or even like a private message or something, and just ask away. Me and Ian, who is the other guy who you see in the battle reports, if there's anything you want to know, we will be honest with you. If we know the answer to it, like, how do you paint? What's a good method of painting yellow, for example? Because yellow is one of the paints that a lot of people struggle to paint with because it's very, very liquefied, very difficult to get an even coverage to make it look like yellow. Because yellow, believe it or not, yellow doesn't actually look like yellow when it's being painted. If you're going to put a shade over it, like a black shade or a brown shade or something, or even a red shade, I've seen some people do, it doesn't always set right. It kind of looks a bit iffy, for lack of a better word. So if you've got any questions about, what's a good way of painting yellow, or what's a good way of basing, or is there any cheats to getting around like paint fatigue? Paint fatigue is a real thing. It's when it's basic like motivation. If you can't sit down for long spaces of time and sit down and paint your models, then, message us, because, we will give you ideas about how to sit down for long spaces of time and paint your models, get motivated to do it. My motivation is either listening to a podcast, an audio book that is based in the setting that I'm painting. For example, if I wasn't doing live now, I'd be watching, or listening, I should say, I'd be listening to a Game of Thrones audiobook to get me into the, the realms, as it were, in my head kind of thing, to get myself motivated to do it. If I was doing a Age of Sigmar army, painting one of them up for a friend or for myself, I'd be listening to like an audiobook from Games Workshop, or listening to, different people's ideas, like a video similar to this of someone going live and, putting out their interests and saying what they think of certain things that are coming out. Quite divided at the moment, I've seen in the community, about people's views of the new High Elves that are coming out. Because as opposed to being these dragon riding, majestic, demigod looking models that they used to be in before Age of Sigmar and Fantasy 8th edition, they are now these cow worshipping mounting people, which aren't what they used to be. They used to be these really cool, individual models kind of thing. So yeah, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to shoot me or Ian, the Grumpy Dwarf, a question about ways of painting. Ian has got some stuff painted up on here. I need to make him an admin, but while this whole lockdown thing's going on, I don't really want to, the Facebook lockdown, that is, I don't want to kind of corrupt his computer, get him guilty by proxy, as it were. Because if I'm, being monitored, as it were, and so is Tabletop Standard because of some comments, I don't really want his laptop to then also. So if he goes live on his account, for example, he might be guilty by proxy, because it will be the same, Tabletop Standard thing that I'm using, he will be using. I don't want him to be guilty by proxy. And then, him being able to stop posting what he wants to post on Facebook and stuff. So yeah, don't really want to, that's what I mean. I don't want to make an admin just yet, just in case things go bad for him as well. So yeah, that was a bit of a long ass rant, wasn't it? I'm saying, yeah, it is annoying, Rachel. It is very annoying. But you're going to get these people everywhere. I'm not going to use the the derogatory term for it, as it were, but people who take things far too seriously, can't take a joke, and just, because there's many people, I mean, everybody on this, let's be honest, everybody on Tabletop Standard either knows me or knows Ian. We all know that I have got a very strange sense of humour, and so has Ian. We don't mean to be offensive. We're just two guys who have a very strange sense of humour, where it is quite grounded, really. We're just normal guys who like weird jokes. We'll laugh about stuff that other people don't have the guts, really, to laugh at. We just find things funny. None of them are racist. None of them are prejudiced or anything like that. We've just got a different mindset to most people, me and Ian. We see things differently. Gallow humour, I guess you could call it. And some people just don't get the humour. I tell you what, the best way of describing it, actually, Rachel, is we have got deep throat trauma senses of humours, like your band. Oh, another good thing about Rachel, guys, is she's in an amazing band called Deep Throat Trauma. Check them out. They're really good. I don't like metal music, as a lot of people know. I despise it with a passion. But Deep Throat Trauma, actually a really good band, because they don't take themselves too seriously. There is no ego in that band. And I respect that in a musician. As an ex-musician, I don't play anymore, sadly. But as an ex-musician, I respect bands that don't take themselves far too seriously. There's nothing worse than a band that takes themselves seriously. I mean, people know the metal community or understand the metal community. Glenn Danzig, who's the former vocalist of the Misfits. As people know, I love the Misfits. I've got them tattooed on my arm, for Christ's sake. Glenn Danzig takes himself far too seriously. He thinks he is the son of the devil. He thinks he takes everything so seriously. And, it was a very, Deep Throat Trauma, a very good band. They're actually, which is really strange in bands, I find, because the amount of really sad, for lack of a better word, sad people I've worked with over the years, done gigs with and stuff. Deep Throat Trauma, those kind of people in bands that will finish off a gig, get off stage, watch the other bands that are performing on that same bill as them, have a drink with the audience, have a laugh, have a talk. And they're very humble people. Very, very, very humble people. The vocalist Rich is one of the most humblest person I've ever met in my life. It's not, oh yeah, cheers for coming out and seeing the show tonight. It's really meant. Thank you guys so much for coming. Rachel and the bassist and the drummer are similar. I feel bad I don't actually know their names, because I only spoke to Rich because we both met when he was in a band called, he probably still is, in a band called Dying Visions. But yeah, the drummer was a nice guy. The bassist, I know he's got a weird name like me, but I can't remember what it is. Scruffy or something. And he's also a really nice guy. And they have a beer after the gig. They sit down, they talk to the fans that have bothered to come out and see them, which is really nice. When you go to a gig and, you're treated like an ugly girl at the dance kind of thing. They're just like, oh yeah, thanks for coming. But these guys are genuinely happy that you've come and, nice. Scarfy, that's it. Scarfy, that's it. But yeah, nice, genuine people who, are nice to be around, for lack of a better word. Rich has always known, the vocalist of DTT is He's always, I'm sorry, complicated bit there. I had to paint, I had to concentrate. He knows I don't like metal music very much. I didn't help. I was with him when he used to he DJ'd a couple of times, and I went with him. He knows I despise metal music with a passion, but he always respected my honesty, as it were. That yes, I don't like metal music, but I'll always support my friends and what they do. Always support them. For example, Blur the Cat is incredible. It can stand on its own 2 feet as a really, really good comic book. But because one of my friends is, animating it, I will support it until my dying day because it's one of my friends. I will always support my friends' music or my friends' projects because, they're my friends and I want what's best for them. And if I enjoy what they're doing, I will always, scream their names from the mountaintop so everybody comes along, sees what they're doing, and get them a bit more recognition because there are far too many, really good artists out there, musical, drawing, painters, even poets who don't get the limelight. But the ones that don't are always the ones that try the hardest. They're the candles kind of thing that shine the brightest. They don't do it for the money. They don't do it for like publicity. They don't do it for anything. They do it because they like to do it. And, I will always support my friends as much as I can who want to, do something. I've really got to stop talking when I'm trying to do technical parts. And again, my hand is nowhere near the camera. Maybe if I jerk the camera up a little bit. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Like I was saying, I will always support my mates because they try the hardest. In the case of my mates' bands, they are actually better than headliner acts most of the time. I mean, I once saw a band called Call of Fenrir, who my friend, his name's Wolf actually, Wolfric. He was the vocalist of the band. He came on, rocked the place. It was the Unicorn pub just near Camden. He destroyed the gaff. Like he rocked the house. And then, the headlining band came on. And, they were taking themselves far too seriously. Like literally the metal pose of, if anybody's ever seen Blackadder, there's a Blackadder thing where Kenneth Connor and who's the guy from Around the Home? It was Betty Marston, Kenneth Horn, Kenneth Williams, and someone else. Anyway, he was saying this is how you stand to be an actor. And it's your legs apart, your back straight, and you bellow. The classic I am angry metal stance. And these guys just came out, took themselves far too seriously, looked like somebody who just, stolen their teddy bears kind of thing, really grumpy. And it was just like, this isn't a fun gig. I mean, no matter how much you like metal, you can't enjoy watching, people standing around like, we are angry, my mother grounded me. It's just like, not fun. But then you get bands like, Gwar or Deep Throat Trauma or Lordi, even Lordi. I'm not a big fan of Lordi, but even Lordi, who come out in costumes, yes, but they don't take themselves too seriously. They are, it's just, they're out to have a laugh. I mean, Deep Throat Trauma actually did a music video shot in Southend that I was really want to come down to because they were looking for people to be in the music video. I really want to come down and do it, but I didn't, obviously, because I had work. But the music video was just funny, like it was meant to be like I think Rich at one point who met Jesus in the sea, and Jesus dunked his head under the water. It was just a funny music video, and it was like really nice to see my mates doing a music video, to be honest with you. It was really nice. Right. To keep you posted on the painting, we are now doing the washes. Washes, aka what Games Workshop have now renamed shading. Just going over, that isn't even finished being painted yet. But yeah, for the other people who are watching this, I haven't had a chance to look up and see how many people are watching, but whoever is watching, check out a band called Deep Throat Trauma. They're really good at what they do. Love it. You know, those are the kind of bands that deserve more than they get. Quite surprised, Ian from Tabletop Standard hasn't jumped on. Normally he'd be in the comments lurking, but he isn't, which is quite odd. I was hoping he would, jump in somewhere and have some comments going out or whatever. Don't get me wrong, I'm very appreciative of your company here, Rachel. Don't get me wrong. I just would have thought the other person from a Tabletop Standard would have jumped on and made his views quite clear, as it were. I might have to send him a personal message in a minute, tell him to get his little stunty bum on here. He's not actually a short person. He plays dwarves. And I call him a stunty because that's the common derogatory term in the Warhammer world. Every other race that doesn't like dwarves calls dwarves. Nudge him. Well, he's probably asleep, to be fair on him, because he works nights. Not every night, but, he's obviously probably doing something else. I mean, he does have a life, despite how much I despise him having one. He does have to have certain things to, he's quite a big gamer himself. He loves his Xbox games and stuff. But no, I'm going to look into that toss me a coin for a coffee thing. Because, sure, me and Ian wouldn't say no to a Cafe Nero and someone else, or a Costa's and someone else. Be quite nice. The amount of coffee me and Ian drink, no Jesus. I went round there for just a Games Workshop chat, really, just us talking about the new releases and stuff. Got round there about 1 o'clock. By about 3 o'clock, we already had like 4 cups of black coffee, because we do like our coffee. Yeah, toss a coin to your pater. Yeah, that'd be good. Or a donut. Ooh, throw us a donut and we'll dance. We'll do anything for a donut. Ian's more of a biscuit boy, really. He loves a biscuit. Yeah, I do feel like tonight is a bit... Enjoying the conversation, Rachel. Do not get me wrong, my love. But, it's a bit annoying, really, because I've done all this work kind of thing and the camera's crap. You can't really see anything. It's been me and you in here, just me and you all night kind of thing, talking back and forth. Bit annoying, but I've had a lot of fun. Oh, I take that. It's because you like donuts as well. You're a donut girl, and you're into donuts. I'm into donuts. The world should eat donuts. You can't beat donuts. I go nuts for donuts. Isn't that bloody typical? I missed that one little piece on this shield. So it's delayed me washing it. It should be dry now for me to wash it, but it won't be now because I've had to add another layer of paint onto it, which is annoying. Yeah. Yeah, why not? UK version of coffee should be tea and biscuit. Definitely. I mean, who we got to talk to about changing it to that, Yeah. There will be pictures up of everything I've painted tonight on Facebook later. Because let's face it, the camera isn't great. All right, just got to move, shift. Oh, fudge. Got to move all the pigment. See, I can't even swear. Can't even swear. Okay, just got to push all the pigment into the corner there. So it looks like the shade was going to give the yellow like a shadow effect. See if I can lift up the little movement tray that comes with all miniatures from this game. That is basically it. All going to look like that eventually. Now you can't really see it. Can just stick that under there. That's it. Yeah, I don't know anymore. I really don't know anymore, to be honest with you, Rachel. Like, kind of shaken, as it were. I don't know what I can get away with anymore on posts and comments and stuff. Right, while I wait for the washes to dry, yeah, it's that time again. It's another all cozy. That tray is going to be spray painted brown, and then grass is going to go on all around it to make it look like they're basically stands on nothing, but it just means I don't have to move 12 individual guys. So how many have I got done in a week? Well, if I get all of these done tonight, based and flocked with all the grass on it, that'd be 36 wardens, 36 of these, 12 two-handed guys, 6 leaders, one being Stannis Baratheon, Melisandre, Renly Baratheon, and 12 stag knights. So infantry-wise, that is a lot. I'm going to have to do some maths in the comment section. 36 wardens, 12 stag lords, 12 sentinels. So that's 2, 6, 8, 10. I make that 40. There'll be 60 infantry for Song of Ice and Fire board game, which isn't a lot. It isn't a lot. Games Workshop, for example, Warhammer Fantasy used to need 40 guys minimum for just one unit, 40 miniatures minimum to actually play the Age of Warhammer game. That was just your core. That was just your infantry. That was one block of infantry. Which, when you think about it, it's a lot of Jesus, imagine that. Like, I mean, people always say this, people nowadays who are getting into the hobby don't know they're born. Because when I first started, we didn't have shades, we didn't have dry brushes, paints designed just for dry brushing, or technical paints for bases and stuff. I mean, I use sand and acrylic paint, the old standard way of doing it. I don't use the technical paints for basing. It just takes the fun out of it. I'd rather, cover it with sand and, paint it however I want, as opposed to you're stuck to just one. Do you know what? That's a common thing. Right, somebody's commented on the Facebook thing of a squig. Where she got a squig from? I don't know. Right, where's my thing? Here you are. Damn it, Ian, jump on YouTube. Damn it, Ian, come on YouTube. So that way he can input what he wants to say, and get on out there? Anything that's on his mind about Games Workshop at the moment? Or it'd also be nice to involve him in something, because I know he feels a bit neglected at times. The days that he's asleep because he's got work are normally the days that I'm off from my job and I post things up on here. What's he have to say for himself? Just chatting with someone, fair enough. And that's the person he's chatting with should also be, watching this and supporting the feed. But never mind. Right, Black of Shields now. What's the time? Cool. That means as soon as this is done, I've got to wait for it to dry. Then I can black out the bases and put the flock on it, and then get ready to watch Blur the Cat. It should be good. Watch somebody that isn't banned from Facebook, who can use her skateboard technique, as it were. Little skateboard technique that I was going to borrow for the night, the skateboard technique. But my phone doesn't work, so thank you, YouTube, and thank you, Facebook. Yeah, I very highly doubt that Facebook will bar you somehow, because you're very careful with some of the things you say. I've noticed that in a few of the Blur the Cat videos, that you were afraid, like when I mentioned the name of my band, for example, one of my old bands, you were very careful what you could get away with saying. That's probably one of the reasons I got banned, actually. Thinking about it, if somebody saw that and they didn't appreciate it or something, they could have put in a complaint then. It might not even be about the other things. It might have been about that. So who knows? No, I very much doubt it is anybody from that. But you can. It's one of those things. You always not I know you probably don't, but I always get very paranoid when things like this happen, because it's a bit suspicious that I've done some very questionable things on Facebook in the past, and it's never come of anything. So, I mean, God forbid that I do a battle report of a game called Bolt Action, which is based in the Second World War. God forbid if I ever did that, because I'd get called all sorts. Like, oh, why are you playing the army? Why aren't you playing the English? Yeah. Oh, soldier down. So yeah, I've noticed there's other people in this chat. Say something, the other two people. Say hello. Say whoop-de-doo or something. Do something, guys. And no, before you say anything, Rachel, you're not, hogging the speech. It's just other people are lurking. They're being shy. See, this is how paranoid I am right now about this whole Facebook thing. Those other two people could very well be Facebook moderators watching me. Let's see what he's up to now. Let's put him on a 30-day ban because he's using black ink to paint Baratheon stags instead of like a nice grey, blacky colour, which would have made the army look a lot better. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, I don't paint for other things. Yeah, Facebook police. Whoop whoop. Well, when this army that I'm painting now, wins contests, wins games and battles and stuff, you'll be able to say I was there when it was created. I was there when that army was built. I was there when Spunky drew painted the Baratheon wardens that one day will help me secure the Iron Throne for Stannis Baratheon, the rightful king of Westeros. None of that Targaryen nonsense here, please, folks. But the scale of these models, the size, I should say, for non-games workshop people or model builders, the scale of these, the size of these models and the scale of these models would be very similar to historic models. Of course, the Baratheons are my favourite. Old Bobby Baratheon, old Robert Baratheon, definitely. Hated the Targaryens with a passion, still do to this day. Not as much as I hate the Lannisters right now, but yeah, Baratheon all the way. I used to have it's around here somewhere. I've got a signed trading card of Robert Baratheon signed by Mark Addy, who played Robert Baratheon. Got it somewhere. Loved the Baratheons. Stannis was the greatest king of all time. We would have been the greatest king of all time. Yeah, Bobby B. Mark Addy played Robert Baratheon so well. I mean, with the book stuff that you read, and I'm sure that people in the future will think, Emilia Clarke was a really good Daenerys, but nobody can be taken away just how well Mark Addy played Robert Baratheon. Robert Baratheon was played so well by Mark Addy. He brought a new level to the character of, yes, it was after the Greyjoys rebellion in Game of Thrones lore history, as it were. Robert Baratheon was quite still not as heavy as he was portrayed in the TV show, because then again that was like 9 years after the Greyjoy rebellion. But Robert Baratheon was a soldier's king, as it were. He was happy when the Greyjoy rebellion broke out. According to the books, he was very happy when the Euron Greyjoy rebelled against him, because he was back at war, and that's all he knew. He didn't know all this. He didn't like the diplomacy. He didn't like all of this, let's talk peacefully. Let's, do this, let's do that. It was always, oh, thank God, I'm back in battle. I'm back in the war, because he knew how to do in wars. He knew what to do. Just, kill the enemy and win, as opposed to in the Seven Kingdoms democracy side of things, just sit back and be quiet, basically, and just watch other people in the, cabinet, as it were, rule your kingdom for you. And he wasn't a big fan of it. Cut now, talk later. Exactly that. Exactly that. Right, these are almost done. I just need to paint the black. And let me pick up a dry one. Just need to paint the black around the bottom of the model, cover them in fake grass, and then that is another. I keep saying that I've painted 12 of these today. I've actually painted 13, I think. Yeah, because I sneakily, let's get a better camera angle on it. I sneakily may have painted the standard bearer earlier before I went live. May have pre-painted the Baratheon banner bearer for this unit. And the Warden, the champion of that unit. I may have already painted him as well. But yeah, I've just got to paint the bases. But this is from another unit. Yeah, an unlucky number. Which is very odd. I say it's odd because in the game, because I've never actually played the game with, like, actually played it with dice and stuff. I've only painted the models so far. But what I think is strange, if we take this unit like it is now, get rid of him for a minute and get rid of that for a minute. That is what you'd be bringing to the table. Obviously, finished being painted, obviously, and all that. But when you want to add a Warden or a special character, you have to, we'll use him as an example, you have to put him in there like that. Which means you're always going to have an extra model. So does he add onto the back? Does he stand on his head? I mean, don't know why you'd... For an extra 5 points, yes, that is quite a good model to put in. But still, it's a bit... It's silly, really, when you think about it. These models... Well, no. Right. Apparently, Ian is in the chat somewhere now. He's lurking. All right, let's get the bases. These guys painted black. Wait for them to dry, and then I might flock them on. Might flock these two on the live, and then afterwards, then I've got time for a coffee and a bit of a cake of some description. Stick him on the middle. Hello, Ian. By the way, this is to catch you up, Ian. Because of my hilarious antics on Facebook, I'm not allowed to post anything until next month via my Facebook account, go live or do videos. Not Tabletop Standard, but my own personal profile, which is a shame. So I had to do it on here. And to answer your question, as in your comment, mate, so just so everybody else knows, this is Ian. This is the guy I speak so highly about in this video. This is the second member and probably the most important member of Tabletop Standard. Everybody's favourite grumpy dwarf, Ian. Well, you can't beat that for an intro, can you? An introduction to people, Jesus. What an introduction. But yeah, I could put him in the middle. That's the thing. I don't know how this game is played yet. I have the rule book. I just haven't had a chance to really have a look through it because it's very confusing. They do need to do a camera share. They really do. Because that way we could both be sitting on here and actually do our first Monday monthly moanings. which would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Eh? I've just realised after going around in a circle with this black paint, with this paintbrush, I'm using the wrong paintbrush. I'm using a fine detail brush. No wonder it's taken me so long to go around. Yeah, that's your own personal thing, but it rhymes, Ian. So we're going with monthly Monday moanings. Because as I explained earlier, when people seem to ask us anything about a hobby, we moan about it or we grumble about it. We do. It's never, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to Games Workshop's new interpretation of the High Elves. Well, that'd be great. It's they worship cows, man. Worship cows. So yeah. Hi all. It's just me, you, and Rachel, I think. Rachel, to introduce this lovely young lady. Rachel is the guitar player from a very good band called DTT. Deep Throat Trauma, by the way. Don't know if I can get away with saying that even. She is a very skilled guitar player, and she's also the writer and illustrator of a comic called Blur the Cat, who is also doing a live video later, if anybody's interested, at 10 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time tonight on her channel, Blur the Cat. So if you want to see how a comic book is made, or a comic book is, how it's illustrated, as it were, and also catch up and have a conversation with a thoroughly very nice young lady who, will take the time to talk to you and answer your questions and stuff, then, jump on. Check it out. Don't know why Ian's laughing, but he is. He's rolling on the floor laughing. It's what he does. Trying to give you a nicer introduction, as it were, as I gave Ian a minute ago. Regretting giving Ian a nice one now, though, that's for sure. Yeah, Ian, the band is called Deep Throat Trauma. And it's exactly how you imagine it. Deep Throat Trauma. It's a metal band, Ian. They're going to have weird names, mate. Do you know how you did say the other day on your video how you described Deep Throat Trauma's musical style? I think metal is probably the wrong definition for it. What genre would you say it was? Because when people say metal, they think like AC/DC and Metallica and stuff, but it's definitely not Metallica. Because I hate Metallica, but I actually like Deep Throat Trauma. So what kind of genre is extreme metal? That's probably a better analogy for the genre of music. For any consolation, I was in a horror punk band for years, and nobody knows the genre of horror punk, so you're quite lucky that metal music is quite well known. This is probably the boring stage of this, is basically just painting all of them to have black bases like these 5 over here. So, yes. Right. Who likes a little gamble on this page? Because I bet you Ian's either gone for a cigarette or he's gone to make himself a cup of coffee. There's no in between. He's not making a sandwich or something. He's definitely making a coffee. Oh, he's back. Faces and bases. You're absolutely right, Ian. What makes a model is faces and bases. If the bases look good and the faces are really well detailed and stuff, you can paint the rest of it, with a 5-year-old's watercolor set, As long as you've got really high detailed faces and bases, it makes the miniature pop. Well, it's any consolation, I would have bet he went for a coffee or went for a cigarette. But no, I guess I was wrong. He was sitting there the whole time. Yeah, yeah. He's got both. He's got both a cigarette and a cup of coffee. Yeah, no. I'll take a break from painting for a second, so Ian can also back me up with this one. Like he was saying about bases and faces. If a model, because we've got to realise models, unless they're massive, like unique models, like a Screaming Bell or a Plague Furnace, like a big miniature, or for example, a tank size model, it doesn't matter so much about, compare that with a unit such as this that are like what, 3 deep and 4 wide to make 12 miniatures. What's going to stick out the most is the detail in the face and the base work that you've done on them. That's what's going to stick out the most. When you've got 6 of these lined up, for example, the first thing you're going to notice is the bases and the faces, and it just really sells an army. Really sells an army. It makes them look absolutely incredible. And again, another great point from Ian: scenery makes a gaming table. I mean, don't get me wrong. A piece of cardboard. I mean, this is from the starter kit that I got with the Baratheons that I'm painting today. That is, I don't know if you can see it, that is a weirwood tree. That is like the god's tree. That's a corpse pile for the game. But the best thing about wargaming, I find, is if you built that, but with actual 3D models, and you painted to make just look just like that. Bases and scenery, especially on subject of scenery, like Ian said, scenery makes a gaming table because it just makes you like, oh my god, there's like a 4-foot building over there made out of resin or made out of like plasticard or cardboard, and it's painted really nicely. It makes a gaming table and it makes it look so much better. I miss making terrain a lot. I used to make a lot of terrain and I miss it. Yeah, the more immersive it is, it's just incredible. Are you working on your Sigmar terrain at the moment? The ruins. Is it the Blightstorm ruins you're working on, or you got something else to work on? Oh yes. Oh cool, cool, cool. Can't wait to see that done, mate. When it's done, drop it in the thing or post it up here, so a lot of people will be able to see it because it's going to look absolutely amazing. Because I liked you said about you were going to do like a not a mold, but like a grass technique going between the cobblestones or something to make it look like it's been there for a long time, like a ruin that's been there for a while. Oh yeah, have you been practicing on anything, or you've just gone straight for it and it's worked straight away, mate? Your dwarves are nearly done as well. I've just remembered. A lot of dwarves you've got done. Yes, yes, you're using a green wash. Okay. Using that kind of wash in the between the stones to give it a really like, not eroded. I guess the word's in eroded. It's like a very like dishevelled, like it's been there a while. That mold has grown in the crack work of the stone, And, it's going to look really good when it's done. Can't wait to see it. But also, as Ian would agree, it's going to look good when it's done. It's going to be fun to do. But I can't wait to play on it, because it's been such a long time since I've played a war game. Because of lockdown, it's not really a game you can play by yourself. Because then you get another kind of thing from Facebook telling you can't post videos saying me playing games against myself. I'm technically playing with myself. So you can't put up videos. Yeah. Ian is one of the biggest motivational forces I have when it comes to painting, because me and him are quite passionate about our hobbies. And so when we discuss it, like throw ideas back and forth for each other, we really get into it. Apparently so. I heard somewhere that restaurants are being opened again on the 4th of July. So that means I'm off now till like the 4th of July, which ain't good. We might need to spread that information on to Ian, Rachel, about there's a, like Patreon, Ian, there's actually a GoFundMe like coffee page where people send in money that we buy coffee with for like coffee shops. That might be something we need to think about for this channel, mate, that people send us like Costa vouchers or something. Imagine that, somebody sending us, Costa vouchers or Cafe Nero, Starbucks vouchers. Exactly. Imagine that. Somebody's supporting Tabletop Standard, me and you, through sending us a couple of brews each. I mean, that'd be pretty good. The amount of coffee me and Ian drink is ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be one of those days when he puts his coffee machine on and you think, yeah, I'm not going to be sleeping tonight. It's going to be one of those days. Yes, Uber coffee. There is. I need to look into that actually, Ian, because Uber Eats deliver like food and stuff and drinks and stuff. I wonder if they will deliver a Starbucks coffee from the drive-through coffee place near the Morgan pub that we went past the other couple of months ago. I wonder if they deliver. So I won't say no to a nice strong black coffee from there with a little bit of vanilla essence. Oh, Ian's coffee machine is the stuff of legends. Yeah, when when that coffee machine, you hear it click on kind of thing, you think, yep, it's gonna be one of those days. One of those bloody days where me and Ian are shaking the amount of caffeine we've had in our system. And a lot of roll-up cigarettes as well. Oh yeah, you can't get any old rubbish kind of thing. And I'm currently having espressos of an afternoon and Nescafe of an evening, but it's not the same. Not the same at all. Let me just move the camera a little bit so we can actually get. No, that's me. Let's not get me in it. Eh? There we are. Get the models that are currently having their bases painted black in. Because then, once they're painted black, use the flock. Here's another great idea that I learned from a very good painter. is use the flock to cover your mistakes on your basing. So have the base, with the green grass on it, and any mistakes you've done with the base, like you've overspilt a bit with the black paint or the brown paint's a bit chipped in places, cover it with the flock, cover it with the grass, because then nobody will see it. Yes. Yeah, the painting is a problem, mate. I mean, when paint chips and stuff, and it needs to be painted Mournfang brown at the moment, because that is what colour the movement tray is going to be. Touch that bit up. Oh, that's my thumbprint on there. Nice little thumbprint. Nice. Okay. Yeah, basically. So like this model, I think with this model, I maybe dropped, because I was painting other units, this same colour, other armies as it were. And I think I dropped some yellow paint, like a big splodge of it, just there. So I just, used the flock to cover my mistakes. Yeah, Ian, you're missing the point. Black is for the rings, mate, around the base like that. They're not for the top. And they're not painted black. The bases aren't, the model has not been sprayed black. It's been sprayed a very light silver colour. And the only reason it chipped is because I went over it with the metal part of my paintbrush by accident. And I dropped some yellow paint on another one. I think we worked out earlier. How many was it? It was like 50 odd miniatures painted. So one mistake like that is not a big deal, really, for me. Because when these guys are all ranked up, you're not actually going to see the mistakes. You're going to see the other parts that are mistakes. Ian, check out the pictures of the other units that I've painted. 24 of the same style unit. All on the webpage. All on the Facebook page, mate. This may not be how you paint your miniatures, but it's how I get by painting mine. You dick. I didn't know you were going to come in here and belittle me. I'm joking. I love you. I love you, really. But yeah, I expect to see not just Ian, but the other two people in this conversation, other than Rachel and Ian, because Ian, I know, has probably got to go to work soon or whatever, or go to bed or play his Xbox or continue speaking to his friend. But everybody else, I expect to see on Blur the Cat later, and that includes you, Matt Lawrence, if you're still there. I expect to see loads of people on the Blur the Cat thing later, which is at 10 o'clock. It's in about, what's the time now? About 52 minutes time. There'll be Blur the Cat time, where we watch Rachel paint. Well, I keep saying paint. Draw out and her comic strip for Blur the Cat Volume 2. Volume 1 is available on the Blur the Cat webpage to buy a hard copy, but it's also in the library. You can read it for free, as it were, and just see if you like it. So I did, and it was well worth a read, to be honest with you. It's hard to explain, but it really shines a light on how a lot of people are in the scene. Rachel, I know what I'm on about. When Blur the Cat is walking down a high street and says he doesn't want his music to get out to other people, he writes it for himself, not for others. And the whole poser side of it, when Blur the Cat's about to go into the Little Box Club, and there's these posers outside who doesn't know what the music genre is. It just shows that there are a lot of elitists and there's a lot of posers in all scenes, and that bit really was quite interesting for me. As you could tell, I remember that part because I was like, oh yeah, That's very similar to a lot of the scenes that I used to be part of when I was younger. The whole punk rock scene especially was well known. You know, punk rock was being an alternative, but a lot of people made it out into their own, kind of make their own, really, you know, as a chance to, yeah, no, exactly. I can definitely imagine that people that you've met in your life through bands and stuff would have been based on Blur the Cats, like those people from Blur the Cat. Because I've met those kind of people before in my life in different circles, kind of thing, and they definitely exist. People who think they're holier than thou, people who think they were better than everybody else just because, you know, they lived the lifestyle more than some other people, I guess. For what? What are you leaving for? Okay, that is all the black done on the basin. Before it gets dark, I'll probably go out and spray paint the base brown. I've got my head torch, to be honest. I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, they are. I mean, as Ian would tell you, there's elitist people in even something as silly as Warhammer, as it were. You know, there are people that believe that they are better than everybody else because, you know, they've been in the hobby for years, or, you know, their army have won a few games more than yours, or their painting style is completely different to yours. They always think they're elite. Okay. But yeah, I'm probably going to call it now as the end of the video because the camera angle I want to use today. Let me take my camera off the hook and let me show you. That was what I was meant to be using today. This swan claw. I was going to use it with my phone, so it would give a like a So it would have been like that angle over my miniatures with my phone with a better high definition on it. Well, that was a lucky catch, wasn't it? With a higher, better definition on it. But it was not to be. Gonna find out what if there's anything I could do. I feel I can appeal to Facebook about, you know. What's weird, I did a video earlier about paintbrushes and nothing came of it. So anyway, I'm going to call it here. I'd like to thank. That is fancy. It's not mine. I borrowed it. Yeah, I'd like to thank Ian. I'd like to thank Rachel, and I'd like to thank everybody that watched this. I won't be deleting this video, so whoever watches it in the future, good luck. Okay. So, yeah, thank you everyone, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching.